Republicans were raised, especially like the younger generation of Republican operatives, were raised on the idea that the media hates them and they should hate the media. And when I say media in that case, I mean legacy, mainstream media, lamestream media, whatever. And so they built an alternative to it, another way to get their message out. And I talk about this in the book, where when I was in the White House Communications Director 2009, 2010, I spent 80% of my time thinking about traditional media. Like, we want to get our message out. What interview are we going to do? What reporter are we going to talk to? Where are we going to post this op-ed? That was it. Like, our way. What time are we going to do the event so we can get on the news? And I think that most Democratic campaigns in 2016, I don't think they spent 80% of their time on it, but I bet they spent 60% of their time thinking about traditional reporters. And the problem with that is an outdated view of how communications works. The communications director of the next Democratic presidential campaign, the Democratic nominee, needs to be someone who thinks about their job entirely. They should not even be called the communications director. They should be called the chief content officer. And their job should be to think about how to create content the campaign can use to win votes. And that can be original videos on YouTube. It can be GIFs. It can be Facebook posts. It can be tweets. It can be articles. Like we need content to share with people that proves that our economic plan works. Let's go try to pitch the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal on a story about our economic plan where they talk to economic experts who say our numbers add up. And then we can take that content. Yeah, it's fine that people in the New York Times read it, but who gives a shit? What we really care about is we want to take that piece of content, we want to use all of our tools, digital advertising, Twitter account, Facebook account, Snapchat account, and share that content with our targeted voters, who we know from our data who are interested in an economic plan that balances. The advice I would give any Democrat running for president is, if you want to win in the field of 95 candidates that we're going to have, that you want to question every assumption about how our campaigns have been run and look for every inefficiency, because the candidate that figures that out, which Obama, we ran TV ads, they were still effective in 2008, but we did lots of things differently than anyone else ever done before because we thought we had to win, because we were such a new and different candidate. And that's what we need here, is we need to be like, oh, is this how we did it in 2016, 2012, 2008, 1978? Don't do that. Think about something totally different. It's not just, this is the thing about the same TV consultants. It's like, we'll do digital ads. So we'll put that same shitty TV ad on Facebook and we'll say we're doing digital.
Yeah.
And that's a huge mistake. When I left the White House in 2015, I wrote this long exit memo that was the product of a 2-month-long project talking to everyone in Silicon Valley about how do you communicate better. Like, what could we learn? Because we had fallen behind the curve in a pretty bad way. And one of the great pieces of advice was, always have at least 2 people under the age of 23 on your staff. Because they're going to know a lot more than you do about how people are really getting their information. And so, youth is actually, if I was hiring on a presidential campaign, I would hire almost entirely young people who have not worked in Washington, because you're going to be smarter and you're not going to have conventional wisdom beaten into your head.